Rugby Championship 2024, folks. The final round, round 6, wrapped up over the weekend. Who were the standout players from that final round? Let's go through 15 guys. You know I've got some stats for you, and yeah, you guys can let us know your thoughts. We'll try to keep this on pretty quick because my kids are on school holidays, and every second we wait here is a further risk of dad, he did this, she did that. Let's see if we can do this uninterrupted. Props, Oxenche again. Oh my goodness, he is in the form of his life. Props never get nominated for World Player of the Year, but he's got to be right up there. Big Ox, goodness gracious me. Tore the Pumas scrum asunder once again. 5 carries for 2 meters is not quite the carrying game that he had the previous week where he was busting tackles, but he's got 6 passes and an offload, which for a prop is a large number of involvements. But remembering the Springboks had a lot of ball. He wins a line out somehow. I forget which one that was. I haven't had time to fully go back and watch the game again. It doesn't concede any penalties, which kind of goes without saying because it was the scrum that was on the front foot for the box. So big Ox. And then on the tight head side, I've gone with Lomax. I think that's the same as I picked the week before. He also gave the Aussie scrum a bit of a hard time. He had a lot of involvements in terms of his carries. 8 meters, 12. Any prop that's getting above a meter a carry is doing a pretty decent job. But he's also a threat at the breakdown. He wins 2 turnovers, does Big Tyrell in this game. He got pinged at one point for holding on himself in terms of his penalties conceded, but he makes 7 from 8 tackles. He makes a pass. And yeah, Razor likes to keep him on because at the moment he is our premier tight head. But thankfully, Tossie came on and did well in terms of the work as the replacement for a change, which was pleasing because we can't just rely on one guy. Hooker, I've gone with Taylor. I'm pretty sure this is the exact same front row I picked a week ago. Taylor continues to be very involved with his carries. 36 meters from 8 carries is a heck of a return for a front rower, including a clean break. What business he's got getting a clean break, I'm not sure. Defensively, 14 from 15 tackles. I think the All Blacks line out was something like 12 from 14, so mostly pretty solid. Still not 100%. The box one was 100% this week, to be fair. 3 passes. Does have a couple of penalties conceded, but yeah. If you're looking for a guy who's going to make a heap of carries, get a heap of meters, make a bunch of tackles, Cody Taylor is certainly a guy this week. And speaking of making a bunch of tackles, All Blacks captain Scotty Barrett, I think this is the first time I put him in the team of the week for, I don't know, I want to say like a year. But man, he actually put in a week captain's knock, which was pleasing because the All Blacks had a good performance. 19 from 20 tackles is top equal this week in both games. So Scotty Barrett putting in a captain's shift. Also wins 2 turnovers. Doesn't concede any penalties. Scott Barrett, clean sheet on the penalties. If you're looking for cards, he's usually a favourite. But no cards. 12 carries, 15 metres. There's nothing spectacular, but it's busy. Slightly above a metre per carry is all right. Couple of passes. Wins 3 lineouts. So, yeah, busy shift for the captain. And I promise it's not going to be all Blacks, but Tupavai continues to be good. I've seen some people saying he was a bit quiet. I don't know, man. 12 carries, 18 meters. That's better than the captain's numbers. He also beats a defender. And his passing game is on song. He's got 3 passes in this one. He likes that kind of draw the man in and out the back pass, like the try for Will Jordan in this game is Supervai carrying to the line, draws the tackler, pass out the back to Bodie to Will Jordan. So kind of secondary assist if Rugby did those. He's got 9 from 9 tackles, which is 100%. He doesn't have as many, but he's not missed any. He's got 2 line-out ones, and he's one of the guys who helps hold up McCright when he looks like he's going to go over for a try. He does concede 1 penalty, but I thought Vati was really, really busy. Loose forwards, and speaking of guys in the conversation for World Player of the Year, he's done it once before. Pieter-Steph du Toit. I think I must have picked him more than any other player this Rugby Championship season in terms of he's been player of the... He's been blindside for most weeks. Goodness me, 2 tries, including that reaching over the ruck one. How the hell does he keep the thing on his fingers? I don't know. I don't understand it. And then the power over for the second try that he got, so he finishes with 2 tries. He's got a big carry in the build-up to that second try as well. 10 carries, 31 metres, 3 defenders beaten, cracking attacking numbers for a blindside, 8 passes and 2 line-out wins. Loves getting his hands on the ball, and 10 from 13 tackles, also winning a turnover. One of the box top tacklers. Does concede 1 penalty, does have a turnover conceded, so not perfect, but pretty bloody good from Big Pieter-Steph. And then, believe it or not, I managed to fit an Aussie on here again, and I think he's 3 weeks in a row. Fraser McCright Like, again, not a perfect effort from him. Like, he missed the tackle on Will Jordan, which led to a try, and he couldn't stop Tamati Williams, which I don't really blame him for. One-on-one against a guy who's probably 40-odd kilos heavier than you was going to be tough when you've got... Like, if he had 5 meters behind him, he would have chopped him, but he was right on the goal line, so nowhere to go. But he gets a try of his own. He gets the only Aussie try of the match. Pretty sure. Burrows over, gets past De Groot, so he kind of beats a prop for that one. Loses to the prop to the other one. 10 carries for 18 meters, beats 2 defenders and 5 passes, so high involvement rate. And then defensively, like I mentioned, he missed that tackle on Will Jordan, but 19 from 22. He is also first equal for this week in terms of tackles completed. He also wins a turnover when the Aussies were under the pump a little bit to get them out of dodge, so... I don't know, man. I don't think the Aussies score as many points with Fraser McCright not on the field. And then number 8, I'm going for Jasper Wiese. Believe it or not, he actually passed the ball this week. He's got 3 passes. Does he carry a lot more than he passes? Yes, because he's got 15 carries. That's why he's in the squad, not for his passing, but for his carrying. And 84 meters. Holy cow, that's amazing. 15 carries, 84 meters for your number 8. That's some good get and go forward ball over the advantage line. Beats 5 defenders, 4 from 4 tackles. Not a huge number, but it's 100%. And 3 passes. That is perhaps the most startling thing because generally he just goes one direction and he does it very, very well. That's the forwards. Get to honorable mentions at the end. Number 9, I've gone with Hendrickson. Kicked the goals. By no means 100% from the tee. There's not going to be focus on the goal kicking this week because the Box won by a margin which didn't require goal kicking, but he kicked the goals. He's not really had to do that before, so it was good to see him have a crack at it and seem to be unfazed by it. 5 carries for 13 meters is nothing flash, but it's showing that he knows how to snipe when things are on. 57 passes, including an offload, also 5 kicks. Kept the Bok attack moving at pace, allowed Mani Libbok to do his thing outside him. 4 from 4 tackles, so defensively did what was asked of him. The number 9 jersey is still an interesting one for South Africa because there's genuinely a few guys who you think bring something different to the game. And I don't know if any one of them is the out-and-out, especially with Faf being up for so long, out-and-out starting 9. Number 10, and it's a bit of a redemption story and justifies Russie's selection of him. Mani Libbok, without the pressure of the goal kicking, just ran the show like a man, absolutely full of confidence and wanting to shove it up everybody's noses. Just did Mani Libbok stuff. He was doing off the side of the boot kicks. He was doing bullet passes, like he gets a try assist after finishing the game with 20 passes. That bullet pass to Fussy for Fussy's first try. He's got 7 carries for 23 meters, which is a pretty bloody good return. He beats a defender. He gets another one of those, what I would call secondary assists, when he draws, like the Argentinian defense, I think it's Matera that shoots out of the line, because he just kind of double pumps. Matera shoots up. That allows the kind of Springboks to have numbers outside. He flicks the ball wide before Colby gets his try. 11 kicks, like I mentioned. He was quite happy to put boot to ball. A couple of turnovers conceded, but man, Mani Libbok, I thought, a bit of a redemption story for him. He's still a good player. He gets so much grief for his goal kicking, but around the park, man. And with those high balls as well, allowing Fussy to chase those for days, gets some real height on the ball. So pleasing for Mani Libbok. Midfield, perhaps one of the hardest choices with the number 12 jersey. I went with ALB. You could easily go with Dale Indy because they both had outstanding performances. But 9 carries, 48 meters, 2 defenders beaten and a clean break. Hell of a good offensive numbers from ALB. Remember, with Jordie Barrett injured, ALB steps into the 12 jersey, and I think he looked better offensively than Jordie Barrett has looked thus far this season. Again, it's hard to judge because it's one game where we kind of pummeled the Aussies over here in New Zealand. But still, 8 passes and 2 try assists. He's got the wide ball for Reese after Sititi had kind of had that line break, and then he's got one to the on-rushing Caleb Clark. So really 2 good passes to set up the guys around him. 11 tackles attempted, 10 completed. So good defensive shift from him in the midfield. Really, really pleasing to see him get a go. And then outside him, Jesse Creel, also one of the players of the match over in Mbombela. He gets a try, which is from a kind of dink through, I think it was from Pollard, right? And he kind of pinballed around a bit, but Jesse Creel's the man who got it. So good to see him cap that off with a try because he had 13 carries and 102 meters, which was the most of any South African this week. And I think second most overall. He's got a defender beaten. He's got 3 clean breaks. He's got 3 passes. Like, he was just offensively everywhere this game. 4 from 5 tackles is defensively pretty solid. Couple of turnovers conceded, but overall, Jesse Creel did really, really well. I can see the kids outside are wanting to come in. Caleb Clark on the left wing finishes with 2 tries. One at the end of the first half and one where he barrels over Tate McDermott, so showing some really good power. 10 carries, 90 meters, beats 5 defenders. You pick Caleb Clark, you want him to run straight and run over people. That's what he did. 3 clean breaks. He does get a yellow card again, which is unfortunate. I don't think it was as bad as the intercept one from the week before, but it didn't end up costing anything. 5 from 7 tackles from Caleb Clark. I still think he looks our best left winger at the moment, which is not something you would have necessarily said at the start of this All Blacks campaign. Right wing, I think it has to be Colby. That step for that try was just stupidly good. It should be like, that's video game level stuff. It's like, if you saw that in a video game, you might say, well, that's not realistic. Well, he did it. To Steph Maroney, 9 carries, 82 meters, beats 7 defenders, which I think is more than anybody else this week. 3 clean breaks. He also finishes with a try assist with that offload for the fussy second try. That was his only pass of the game, but it was quite amazing. 2 from 2 tackles. He also got a turnover conceded, but Cheslin Colby is a bit of a miracle worker. And then fullback, I have gone with Fussy. 2 tries from him and an assist. He's got the assist for Colby, so they kind of set up each other in this week. And he's got 19 passes, which is something you don't usually get from Fussy. That's more of like a Willie LaRue numbers. Well, Fussy proved that he's not just the kind of direct ball carrier as well. 9 carries, 85 meters, 4 defenders beaten, 2 clean breaks, very good on attack as he finishes off a couple of tries. He's got 4 turnovers conceded, but remember, he's chasing high balls for days. So some of those times it's not about necessarily winning it. Sometimes he does win it. Sometimes somebody knocks it on, but that leads to a scrum, which in the context of that game was good for the Boks. And, he's a bit of a lanky dude, so good guy to chase high balls. Did really, really, really well. Honourable mentions, Malcolm Marks came off the bench and did well for the Boks. Wallace Satiti is possibly the most hardest done by forward, and Damon Delende the most hardest done by back, because both those guys were exceptional. Adi Savea had a pretty good game. Kolisi also had a pretty good game for the Boks. Will Jordan, 160 meters, was more than anybody else this week, but I can't put him in ahead of Fussy. For the Pumas, it was kind of hard at the office. Albano scored a try, but there's not a lot to write home about from them. That's it, folks. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. That's the final team of the week for the Rugby Championship 2024. Congrats once again to South Africa for getting that big win. And, being the best team in the tournament. All Blacks finished second. Pumas third, and the Wallabies don't finish whitewashed. They finish with the 1 win and some decent patches, but still plenty to work on. You guys let us know your thoughts, and I'll talk to you guys again soon. See ya.